right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Does that look good? Does that look good? All right. I am here today to ask you a question. To start off with a question. Do you suffer from aim erectile dysfunction? Have you gotten into a firefight before you even pull the trigger, you get killed? That's aim erectile dysfunction. Had a tango in your sights and missed every single shot? Aim erectile dysfunction. Aim erectile dysfunction impacts over 90% of not only PUBG players, but console players in general. I am here to bring you the aim Viagra that you need to be the shroud of console. Now, I'm going to go over a couple general tips before we get into the nitty-gritty of each weapon class and attachments and stuff like that. We're just going to talk about the general. This is more of a video specified towards Xbox PUBG, but you can, of course, take these tips to any other console game that is a first-person or third-person shooter. Now, to start, I would highly suggest start using preset B. If you've been using preset A the whole time, because it was like 6 months into the game preview, and we still had preset A only, where you single tap the left trigger to ADS, and now you're just stuck on it, don't go in with that mindset. You are going to want to switch over to preset B. You will also want to figure out the settings that work for you. I, for instance, use 10 out of 10 for all my sensitivities, but only 30 to 40 out of 100. This game, obviously, it was in the preview for a while. It's still kind of wonky, but feel it out. And the only thing that I strongly recommend for the settings is turn off aim acceleration, because that's just too many variables. You start swinging and you know how long you need to hold to get let's say 30, 40, 50 degrees around, then aim acceleration will just throw that all out the window. And turn off the damn music. If you join a game with me and I can hear in the lobby that you have the PUBG music still playing, I'm going to leave the party and I will probably block you on Xbox Live. Now, in your mind, you need to think of the most successful games that you've had. Look back on them and think, what gun did I have? What two guns did I have that I'm the best with? You need to figure out what guns you are the best with and emphasize on that. Personally, I take an AK over any AR, and that's usually my assault, my close range, mid range assault rifle. You can do a SMG, you can do a shotgun if you really want to, but you need to figure out what your main gun is. Mine is an AK because it's low dependency on rails, which is like adding grips, adding compensate. Well, you can't put a grip, can't put a stock on it. So I know that every time I use the weapon, all I need to worry about is whether or not I have a compensator or not. And I remember that, and I know which way to play the gun depending on whether or not whatever muzzle attachments I have. So capitalize this. Pick your preferred combo, your assault and your sniper, or assault and close range, or assault and whatever. I do AK and M24 or Car 98, just because that's on Sandhawk. It's very easy to find these things, and I have been practicing with them for so long. But the problem with that is that if you need to pick up a QBZ in order to get to the point where you can get your AK or your M4, you're going to have to still be able to push through with that gun. And just this is the general help that I will give to you, giving you the aim Viagra that you need. We will go through recoil more specifically once we get into kind of the nitty gritty of the guns, and just drop boot camp. You're gonna find the gun that you want to practice with. You're gonna get killed a lot, but don't let it get to you. Just keep doing it. Say, you know what, I'm practicing right now. I don't care if I'm gonna get a win. I don't care if I get 10 kills. I don't care if I get 1 kill. I just want to get in there and get the feel of the gun. So another suggestion that I propose is use a higher magnification scope on all of your main weapons. Even if it's an SMG, throw a 3 times on the vector rather than a red dot. If you don't have a 3 times and your 3 time is occupied on the sniper rifle that you have, then that is fine. But I suggest that you use higher magnification scopes on your close range weapons, and here's the reason why. If you are in a firefight within 10 meters, 10 to 15 meters, you should probably be using a third-person soft zoom, third-person aim, soft aim. Just because the time it takes to get up into ADS without a thumb grip or lightweight grip, anything like that, it's just going to be too late because they're already going to have 3 to 4 shots in your body before you even get your sights on them. So always, if you're really close range, use the third person zoom and soft aim to take a close firefight. The AK is the only one that I'd say be careful with when you're third personing zooming, just because anything with the AK is sporadic and it's hard to control. I'd say 2 to 3 times on an AK, 3 to 4 times on an M4 vector, anything else, just because the AK is a little bit spotty. Now, the next thing, we're kind of going to touch back up on it once we get into the specific classes, but practice using bolt action rifles before using a DMR. If you prefer a DMR, that's fine. I don't judge you. No one will judge you. If you can get the shots off and get the kills, no one will be disappointed with that. But practice with bolt action to figure out aim, leading, drop, bullet velocities, everything like that. So that once you do get your DMR, you're spot on. Every single shot is a hit. You know exactly where to put the crosshair on each of these, and there's no fight. There's no fight at all, because you're just going to be on them. You're going to understand distances and how much you need to lead. Now, for the next point, we are going to transition to this clip that I have from boot camp when I was practicing using a Kar 98 for my main. So for this point, it's pre-firing and pre-aiming. Pre-aiming, so pre-angling. Take a quick peek, come back behind cover, and if you need to, take a second to just take in that information. Just accept it and say, you know what, all right, there's a guy right here. I know where he is. Then before you even show yourself, aim down sights, lean whichever way, probably to the right if you're on the left side of a doorway, right or left if you're on the right side of the doorway, whichever way is most ethical, and then this will increase the percentage of you getting an accurate shot off before you get hit by someone who doesn't know when you're coming through. You're going to be coming around the corner. They're not going to expect. They're not going to know for sure when you're coming around, and they will be at a disadvantage at this point. So let's go through this clip real quick, and I'll show you what I did. So first, I came around and took a couple shots, third person zooming to show, to kind of keep that close range. and then I come back with the Kar 98. Now, again, I said I was trying to use the Kar 98 over the wing, but at this point, I knew the enemy was already down a little bit of health, and all it would have needed was a chest or headshot with the Kar 98 to finish him. So, first spray, kind of wild, but I got a hit on him. Then I come back, I sit, angle. I expect him to be in that same corner, but he moved over, which instead of looking, then aiming down sights, then adjusting, it's much easier to aim down sights, lean, peek, and then adjust. And I'm telling you, this will increase your sniping skills by 100 times, because it's going to be harder for people to put a shot on your head when you're aiming down sights, leaning, poking, taking a shot, coming back. And that's something that we'll go over a little bit. Pre-firing. Now, we just talked about pre-angling, but pre-firing is something more sensory. You need to have kind of a little bit better of a headset or a nice set of ears listening to your monitor or TV to hear what's going around you, what's going on around you. If you know that someone's below you, you can prepare by checking the... Here, let me pause that real quick. You can pre-angle and then pre-fire a corner if you know that someone's behind you or below you, and you know they got to come up either staircase A or staircase B. Whichever one is more likely to come through. Boot camp, I know this is a great place for this. When you're in the main building, second floor, on either the north side or south side, there's the two staircases. There's one that goes from the outside and goes through two metal doors, which are auditory cues to let you know where they're coming from, or the staircase that comes from shooting range on the west side. So if you know that someone's below you, they have two ways to get up. And those are the two ways that you're going to get the kill. And you can pre-fire before they're even in your scope. And you will increase your percentage of lethality and your kills. You're just going to start slaying people. Now, this next point kind of links together with the pre-angling. Learn to sporadic crouch, lean, and crouch shoot. So Choco Taco has a great video on this. I think it's through What the Fuck or WTF Moses, and it's a rank 1 analysis player, whatever, of Choco Taco. And Choco Taco explains this, that if you're on a tree, you kind of have like 4 spots to check. You can do a standing crouch to the right, standing crouch to the left, or standing lean to the right, standing lean to the left, or crouch lean to the right, crouch lean to the left. And if you switch this up to make it harder for your enemy to predict where you're coming from, you're going to, again, increase your lethality. And in combination with pre-angling, if you know that someone's 50 yards away at a rock peeking, you can get behind the tree, stay behind the tree, ADS, and then lean, and already know where the player is, as shown in the video I was showing earlier. You already know where they are, so you can take that advantage and take them out. Now, another point to crouch shooting is that if you are crouched and giving a full spray down, it reduces recoil amounts by like 20%, I think, 20 to 25%. So your sprays will be a lot tighter if you are crouched and spraying down an enemy. Now, let's get into the specific gun classes. Pistols. Never ADS with a pistol. I'd say never, but I guess if you have a red dot sight on your pistol, then maybe you can ADS if they're kind of further away. But going up to ADS with a pistol takes out a lot of vision, so you don't want to do that. Don't use a pistol as a primary. It's always a backup if you have it. I don't even carry a pistol. I've never really carried a pistol, but definitely don't use it as a primary. And watch Shroud use pistols. Although he's a PC player, it's still good fundamentals to see how he uses the pistol and how he doesn't aim down sights at all times, how he leans and shoots, how he crouches and shoots, all this stuff. Next, shotguns. Again, you don't want to ADS, and this point is a little bit more geared towards FPP players. But if you are a third-person player and get into a fight with a shotgun and it's close range, hit that right bumper and switch into first person. It will save you. It's gonna save you so many times, rather than having to get a full field of vision tightened down to just where you can see from your eyeballs, not from the back cam, and it will help a ton. So switch to first person. If you're in first person already, you're in a good spot. If you get outpowered by an AR, that's just unfortunate loot, I gotta say. Do not let that impact your psyche or your mentality. It's not your fault that you didn't kill the dude that had an M4 when you had a break barrel shotgun. You'll eventually get good enough to kill the M4 player with a double barrel shotgun, but for right now, don't let it get to you. That's one of the other main points of this video, is just going to be the mindset. You're always going to want to be telling yourself that you're better than the other player and you're going to kill them because you have better aim and you're a better player in general. You can outplay them. You can do all that. All right. Now, SMGs. With the right attachments, you can use a 2 to even 4 times scope. Like I said before, if you're in a close range fight, especially with SMGs, you're going to want a third person zoom because it's a little bit more controlled. I actually have my settings set to 10 for all of my everything, but I have it 8 for third person soft aiming. So it kind of contrasts that. So if I'm going to move slower and I'm going to be able to hit my shots a little bit more accurately rather than aiming down sights at someone who's really close and spraying all over the place. Excuse me. So with SMGs, you also need to really pre-fire the shit out of it. You're shooting a lower calibered weapon at a person who has probably a higher calibered weapon. If they're shooting a 7.62 round at you and you're shooting a 40 or a 9mm round, you might get outgunned unless you pre-fire, pre-aim. Just do everything that this video will teach you and just make it happen. Now, the assault rifles, the meaty part of the game, where everyone's using these. Everyone's using an M4, an AK, an M16, QBZ, QBU. No, not QBU. Any of the other ones. Mutant. No, Mutant's kind. Mutant, Barrel, M762. Any of these. The key to fully mastering ARs is to have your main gun. Mine is an AK, but also have your backup, which mine is an M4. So once you, it's hard to do it because if you don't get your main gun, that's going to mess with your mentality, but you can't let that happen. So you're just going to want to have 2 guns that you know you can effectively use. The way that you know you can effectively use these is by taking these into the battlegrounds and practicing full spray downs and tap spray downs. So full spray down will be you standing or crouching, probably crouching, and just holding down the right trigger. Down with the, pulling down the right trigger and holding down the right stick at the same time to compensate. You will eventually get a natural feel for how much you need to compensate for the recoil pattern of the AK, the M4, any of these. And it's just going to eventually become second nature, and you'll be able to throw down some quick sprays that in 5 bullets, the enemy is down and out. Once you get the hang of this, you will be able to unlock the capability to tap fire. Tap fire is a quick with you also pulling down, shooting 3 to 4 rounds, 3 to 5 rounds in a burst, and keeping it very controlled. This will be your main bread and butter. This will be the peas on top of the potatoes, all right? You are going to want to use the tap fire as much as possible because it will it'll keep you centered a lot easier, and your recoil will be easier to control at this point. And once you do get both of these locked down for your main gun and your backup gun, you will be able to have the game sense to determine when to use a full spray down within that kind of 10 to 20 meter range, and using tap fire, which is that 20 range. Definitely, it's you will be able to have the game sense and game knowledge and game feel to know how to use these effectively, and it will increase your game and your kills, your KD, everything 1,000 times over, and you will be thanking me by the end of this. Well, by the time you use and master these tactics that I'm teaching you. Now, DMRs. I'm not a fan of DMRs, but if you like DMRs because you don't outscope when you have to bolt action a bolt action rifle, that's all you. No one's judging you. Go to SRs though before you use DMRs. Get the distance, lead, drop, bullet velocity. Get all those things down in your head so it's second nature. By the time you get to using a DMR, that you can say, all right, I need to be this high off his head, this many paces over, and just taking shots and hitting each one. And yeah. SRs. Now, I don't have much content to teach you, but I will tell you the resources of where you can go to figure this out. Watch professional streamers and informational videos. The streamers that come to mind: Shroud, Just9, Justin, Just9N, Choco Taco. They're always streaming PUBG on Twitch. Watch them and see how on they are with their shots. That they have the game sense to know where to place shots in order to take people down. The tip and analysis videos on YouTube, go to the channels Wacky Jackie 101. He goes through a lot of the specifics of sniper rifles and things like that, sound, anything like that. If you need any questions answered, go to Wacky Jackie 101. And the other one is WTF Moses. He does analysis of the top tier players, as I referenced before, and you just got to notice these players' moves and see how the analysis and tip videos from the YouTube is correlated into the Twitch streamers, which it's very easy to spot. You'll be able to pick it out instantly, almost. Definitely, let's see. This is a possible experience you will get after finding the sniper. Okay, yeah. That's pretty much all for the specific classes. Now, for attachments, I use an AK because I don't want to mess with attachments. I don't care that you need this grip and this tactical stock. But if you do, for attachments, muzzle devices are the most important. Compensator over everything unless you're using a sniper rifle, which then it doesn't really matter. You can have a suppressor on it, and it's no big deal. Sound will travel through a suppressor no matter what, so the suppressor doesn't really impact your game as much as you think it does. They're still going to know that you're 145 to them, that you're south of them, that you're right next to them, and that they have a benefit from third partying and listening to you fight another team. So just use the compensator, get your shots off, and get them on the body as perfect as possible. Let's see. Now for grips, focus on recoil control rather than ADS speed or sway. Well, actually, sway, you can give up some sway if you have the recoil control. I know it shows on video or on the game that it's plus, minus, plus, whatever. Don't worry about that. Just figure out what feels great for you. One thing that I need to say is don't look up recoil patterns. Wacky Jackie 101 went through this in a video, and I agree with everything he said, and I'm going to extend off of that. He said that the spray patterns are an uncontrolled full 30-round spray at a wall, and it shows a little bit of veering off to the right or veering off to the left. It's not that beneficial to look at those. What you need to do is cut them into thirds and take the first third, because if you're taking a 10 bullet spray, if you're taking more than that, you really need to pull down and really control it, which you'll eventually get there. But all I need to say is that you need to figure out your grip that you want to use for your M4, your QBZ, anything like that. Figure out what you like and what you prefer, and just stick with that and get that to second nature. So you know that this grip, I need to do this much pull down on the right stick, and I need to tap spray with this other grip. It's just something that you need to get through. Now, as we come to a close, all of this is useless if you don't have the mindset. This applies to not only this video, but every single PUBG school video that I will be posting, that I've posted in the past. You need to have the mindset that you are better. And this is an easy thing to start instilling even today. After you watch this video, play a game, and after you outplay or out-spray another player, all you need to say is, I'm just better. Say, I'm just better. Say it out loud so your mom, your dad, your aunt, your inbred cousin can hear what you are doing, that you are better than this person, and you will start instilling this ferocious attack mindset. And that's exactly what you need. Doc is the best. He has the best mindset of any player. Does he put it into use? That's up to you to decide. But the main thing that you need to take away from this is have that mindset, use these tips in practice, and you know what? Just don't be afraid to lose. If you are in this trial phase, figuring out which gun you need to use, and you get sprayed down in a second, you know what? Just say, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better than this guy in the future. Right now, I'll let him have this one. Put him on the list. You remember the list. We all remember the list. And, yeah, if you get whooped in a gunfight, just say, I'm going to be better. If you win that gunfight, say, I'm the best. I'm better than you. You suck. Anything like that. And just instill that. So those are my tips for today's video on how to increase your aim. There. So, I'd just like to give it to my Twitch, twitch.tv/ZBLEWSKIII. Come in, see me use these tactics, see me trash talk the other players, that I'm better, and that subscribe here. I hope this gets a lot of views because it's an aim video for console, and everybody loves those. And one last thing, I have an upcoming video that I'm going to try to work out where I have figured out how to use the website aimbooster.com or whatever .org for console players. So if you want to stay tuned, definitely subscribe, and out to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, everyone. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.